Our Highline Voices, 106.5 KQWZ LPFM.
Connecting Highline and our region.
History, cultural heritage, art, performances, contemporary pop culture.
We collect, preserve, and tell the stories of the Highline region and its people.
We want to embrace our differences and similarities.
We want to extend our mission outside the walls of the museum. Our Highline Voices, 106.5 KQWZ LPFM.
Hi, everyone. This is Nancy from the Highline Heritage Museum, and welcome back. Today, we have a beautiful person visiting us, and we are super excited to share her story, to share her passions, and I think that you will find it really meaningful and powerful and inspiring as we have hearing her story. Why are we doing this project? This project is to make sure that we are as inclusive as we can with our communities, that we are sharing everyone's voices, and that we are here to learn from each other, and learn, get inspired, and just share who we are as a human beings too. Makayla, just want to say thank you so much for allowing us this opportunity to share your story. I shared this with you already previously. You inspire me, and in how you just kicking back to life and just making sure that you're doing something meaningful. And so thank you for the opportunity to share with us, and I'm just gonna let you introduce yourself, and then we'll take it from there. Are you ready?
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you for having me. I feel honored to be able to speak about my journey. To start off, my name is Makayla Roberson. I am many things. I'm a business owner. I am a teacher. I am a community member and leader, and most importantly, a child of God. And I just, trying to think about where to start about how I got onto this journey. I feel like there's so many different things that led me to this point. So I'm gonna just start at the beginning and work my way up there. But I grew up partially in Oregon and then Eastern Washington. And the town that I grew up in Eastern Washington was a very small town, about 1,200 people. So I grew up raising sheep, farming, like all these things that were very hands-on. And then I ended up moving to Eastern Washington, or this is Western Washington. Yeah, Western Washington, when I was 14. So that was a big culture shock for me. I went from being able to do all these different things to like city. The school that I went to was the size of the town I grew up in. And so it was a journey navigating that and figuring out, where I fit in, what I'm supposed to be doing with all these things that I love to do, I can't do anymore. Growing up, a lot of part of, how I am what I am today is I was very much so involved with my great-grandma. My great-grandma was a school lunch lady, and back then they made everything from scratch. And she also had her own jam business called Gloria's Jams. And so I watched her do baking and cooking for such a large part of my core memories. I remember sitting next to her at the lunchroom while my mom's at work, watching her make all this food. We come home, we're baking together. She had a separate kitchen for her jam. So we'd be out there, I'd be watching her do her thing. And it really just inspired me. And it always kept me so connected to food. And so now that I've gotten older, I got, learning to develop my purpose and everything, I started Mac's Snack Shack, which is a commercial bakery where I supply large companies with baked goods and just get to show my love through that craft. And so I feel super blessed to be able to do that. What really led me to getting to Mac's Snack Shack. Back in 2021, I was diagnosed with lupus and fibromyalgia. And I was already very much so immersed in, the food industry in terms of like cooking for people. I was always selling plates out of my house, like doing that type of stuff. But I really had such a dramatic shift in my life that year in terms of trying to manage work, manage my body, my health. I was very, very sick at that time. And so COVID had just started. And about 2 weeks before they told us everything shut down, I had launched Max Snack Shack. And I wasn't aware that any of this was really going to happen like that. And so I really just kept my faith in God and was like, hey, I'm gonna do this. And that following February, I had like over 50 orders for Valentine's Day. My apartment complex was covered from every surface you could think of with boxes. And I was just like, I sat back and I was just like, wow, this is actually a thing. Like this could be real, you know? And so it really birthed the, just the trajectory of what I was supposed to be doing. And as time has gone on, I've just really been able to connect with this region and just the amazing people in it. Moving to Olympia and being connected with those people, there's been a lot of opportunities for me to really impact the community. And so back in 2023, I was asked to be on the board of the Thurston County Chamber of Commerce. And I'm the youngest board member, the only Black woman on there. So it's been a big opportunity for me to grow as a leader, connect with the community, and just really vocalize the concerns that I have and help elevate the local area and really advocate for people that don't really have a voice, you know. Additionally, I said I was a teacher. And so part of my journey has been my love for family connection. Like I would not be who I am today without the core memories I had baking with my grandma, baking with my mom, and just growing in like love and fellowship, right? I thrive off of fellowship, if you know me. Okay, I love to eat some food with somebody. And so just coming to a larger city, and in the time that we're in today, you do not see that. You really don't see a lot of families eating together. You don't see a lot of fellowship going on unless it's in like a church setting. And for me, it just really got to my core. I was like, this is something that we need to change, right? And when we have that feeling of something irritates us, that's a sign that we get to be the person to initiate that. And so I really just started voicing what I saw and what I was desiring within our community. And I was actually asked to be a celebrity chef at Hands On Children's Museum. And so about every other quarter, I go and do cohorts there where we either are teaching family focused classes, which is something that I really pushed on, is that we instill that connection of a parent and a child connecting through food education, right? And so I teach about 15 to 20 families how to decorate a cake together. Or in the holiday time, we did gingerbread men, right? And just to see the families come in, right? And this is my favorite thing. The parent is like, I can't do this. I don't know what I'm doing. The kid's like, I've never done this before. You know, they're all hyped up, you know. And to watch them in those 2 hours go from so doubtful to, oh my gosh, I cannot believe that I did this. And some of these kids are so creative, including the parents too, but just the skills that they had that they didn't even know because they didn't take the leap of faith, right? And to see them walk out with the confidence that they have, it just fills my cup so much. And I hope that through those classes, they take those skills home, right? And so now we're developing a cohort for middle schoolers to teach them how to like upscale top ramen into chow mein, learn how to start, you know, meal prepping, things like this to prepare them for more of a like, you know, the independent lifestyle that they're going to need to live. And to get the proper nutrients. Kids love to eat top ramen all day, but it's like, okay, you need some protein and vegetables. This is not healthy. And, you know, so just that the opportunity, I feel so blessed to be able to teach these classes and stuff. And then I also serve on the Culinary Advisory Board for the South Puget Sound Community College. And so I went in there one day to talk to them about getting some interns for my bakery business. And I was like, you know, how are you fostering entrepreneurship through this program? These people are paying to go through this program to learn these skills. And a lot of times, you know, colleges pipeline people into jobs versus fostering that creativity, that uniqueness. And I could never go work at a bakery. Okay. I am too much of an independent person to do that. And so when I think about somebody who has a passion for something, but just doesn't have the tools, it really was like, okay, send them my way. I will help connect them with the places they need to connect. I'll get some help in the bakery part, and it'll just be great, right? I can pour into them, pour into their dreams. And that's really what I love to do. And so that conversation ended with them asking me to be on the Culinary Advisory Board for the college. So I help oversee the educational development of the program, kind of address maybe some different industry concerns that I have when it comes to how they are being prepared for the industry when they graduate. And it's just been a blessing. Like, I can't even describe it. I'm 24, and so having a voice like this to be able to impact my community, I don't take that lightly. And just my business itself, we have serviced the whole Northwest region. And so being able to just put my stuff out there, be able to have people try my stuff, the joy that people get when they eat my desserts, it's just a big blessing for me. So yeah, I'm super grateful.
One of the things I like about you is exactly that passion to serve the community, and then trying to find a reason as to why we do what we do, based on what you're just sharing. And the reason why I say that is, we eat, but what about if we spice things up? Like when you talking to your teens and adding protein and vegetables and things like that, or the meaning that you find in the relationship between parents and kids working together and creating something and just creating memories and creating something special. And then on the other side is your initiatives to come up with ideas and proposals to improve the conditions on either as an institutional policies, structures, infrastructures. You say something really specifically, you the only person of color in the chamber board, and the impact of what that is, and then just being able to bring those voices in areas that normally, if you're not there, those voices are not included. If you're not there, your perspective is not included. And
Mm-hmm.
and so I see already within the last few minutes that you've been sharing with us many different glimpses of the why you do the work that you do. And so no, I'm just enjoying your conversation on that. And as women, do you have kids? Do you have children?
No, I have 3 beautiful goddaughters that inspire me every day, but I have not had any children yet. No.
No, I get the feeling that once you become a mom, if you decide to be a mom, but it seems like you have that nurturing part of you. It's like, okay, you're looking at your students, you're looking at what else can you do to improve, when they get out of the school. That is a nurturing characteristics. It's something in your personality that allows you to, okay, how are we going to foster this? How are we going to protect it? How are we going to guide them in a way? And so I can see you, if you decide to later on, just being able to really implement the same values as a mom and as a community member in many different ways. So where is that fire coming from? Where is it? This those values. You had the values of a community and improving and just serving the spaces that you can, and then while growing yourself as a human being in your business as well. But it's something that makes you do what you do. Where is the fire? Where is the gasoline in the car that brings moves things around? How you see yourself later on in life, or maybe that's a more complicated question. Maybe like, where is the fire coming from?
Yeah. So I was tried to skip over this, but it's kind of, you can't now that you asked me that. When I was coming out of high school, I just had a lot of things going on. I have been struggling with homelessness since I was 15. I lost a friend to suicide at 17. Just navigating life out here on my own. I have no family in Washington. And so it just wasn't easy for a very long time. And at times it still is a little difficult. Don't let the accolades fool you. But I went through a lot of different things. I've overcame homelessness, I've overcame drug abuse, I've overcame gang violence. And so when I was diagnosed with lupus, it was like a paradigm shift for me. And I was like, I value my life, like, because I could so easily lose it. And I felt like God was giving me a wake up call, like, you have to stop what you're doing and do something different. And for a long time, I fought that. For a long time, those who know me, those who know me and know my story, I've really fought that for so long. And now I want to show people what redemption looks like. I want to show people what following your passion and where you feel like God is trying to take you really looks like, and doing it with faith. I do things that people haven't done before. I do things that I feel like I have to take a leap of courage to do a lot of times, but where there's God, there's safety. And I just love that he keeps opening doors that are so close to my heart. Like, and I know that this is what I'm supposed to be doing, because it's like every time that I talk about what I love, every time I talk about where I feel like my heart is at when it comes to uplifting my community or creating a new program or anything, people really feel the love and the passion that I have for it. And it just continuously opens door after door after door. And that's what walking in purpose looks like. That's what walking in your God-given talent looks like. You know, when people ask me to try something new when it comes to baking or decorating a cake, because I do custom cakes as well. Sometimes there's things I've never done before, and I pick it up and it's like I've been doing it my whole life. And so it just constantly pours back into me through seeing the people's the joy that they get from doing a class with me, to seeing me start a new program that is helping elevate our community. Like, I don't think that I could feel any more blessed in any other way than being able to uplift others. It just, that's what fills my cup. Serving is something that fills my cup. And so as long as I get to continue to serve those that love the community, love what I'm doing, even, and honestly, even people who don't, sometimes the people who don't love what you're doing need the most love. You know what I mean? And so just being able to have that opportunity, and to just talk about God's goodness, really, and what he's done in my life. I am nowhere where I used to be. When I first was diagnosed, I was sick every day. I couldn't get out of bed. I couldn't walk. I was being attacked in my knees and my feet and my face and my arms. And like, I went into a treatment that was almost like chemotherapy, where I was on an infusion, and it just knocked me out, and people couldn't understand what I was going through. And I went through a point in my life where I was grieving. I was grieving my life. I was grieving the loss of my body. For those that don't know what lupus is, it's an autoimmune disease where your body sees your organs and your skin and everything really as the virus and tries to kill it. And so it's been a long 4 years of me getting my body back to normal for what it can be. You know, there's days where it's not as easy as it looks, but I remain in the fact that I'm not where I used to be, and that God has gradually been healing me day by day by day. And the fact that I'm even able to do the things that I do and move the way that I move, I can only continue to serve and give back out of the gratefulness in my heart to be able to be where I am right now. And so, yeah, that definitely is what fuels me.
I think that when I met you, I remember that we chatted and all that, and then we went to this session, and you shared a little glimpse of your story out of making a point of what we were discussing in the room. But then when I walk out of the space and I look for you, actually, I was like, where is she? Where is she? Because I had a little talking, where is she? And it just keep disappearing on me. I'm like, okay, and I keep getting distracted. But finally, I think it was like for 2-3 hours, like, okay, now she's there. I came to you, and what made me come to you is your bravery and your humility of accepting our own reality and fighting through it. You know, protectiveness is something that many people will feel uncomfortable sharing things like this. Um, but we're still human beings. We are still vulnerable to a lot of things. But it takes bravery to break through those insecurities and sharing it publicly. It takes humility to say, hey, you know, there's something a lot bigger than us. And then, you know, arrogance or mask or filters or defense mechanisms might be in the way. And sometimes that prevents you from connecting to people. But when you do, is that when you bring the bridge on saying, hey, I'm human. Hey, you know, I'm doing this because it matters, because it's powerful, because it's meaningful. What you do is also inspiring, and you act on your own bravery on sharing things like this. But the side effect of that bravery to others is an inspiration, and that's one of the reasons why I had to bring you, not necessarily for you to share that specific area, just as a holistically whole everything that makes you. And that was not my intention. If you thought that I put you on the spot, that was not my intention. But it just
No,
wanted,
I felt like I was called to share that. So
yeah, I wanted you to feel comfortable in sharing that. But that is not what identifies you, what makes you. It's just one of the reasons that makes you shine bright because of it. And I do believe that all of us, when we face struggles, when we face situations, that's what builds our character. That's what makes us uh, fight. That's what makes us learn. That's what makes us push forward and ignite that fire.
mhm.
And that fire, like you said, some days might be bad, meaning maybe not as strong as others because but you're fighting with your own body and your own limitations. But at the end of the day, it's like lately, now that the Olympics are here, I've been watching them. I like to watch them because you see this set of athletes facing a lot of challenges, but no matter what, they're inspiring to push forward. And you see the heartbreaking, when they are not meeting the goals, and you
Yeah,
see the ones that when they do get them, how impactful that is because to get to that point. But you don't get to those points just because you had an easy road. You get to those points because you know what it is to fight for it every day. You know what it is to struggle every day. A lot of these kids have, so much pain all the time, and it's still
yeah.
something that makes them get up and push for it. That's how I see you. I see you as a fighter. I see you as an athlete and on your own field on pushing forward. I'm talking too much, and this is about you. So I'm gonna.
No, I appreciate you pouring back into me. You don't even understand.
Well, it's so much negativity out there. There's so much factors that will bring you down, but there's no. I wish it would be a balance. You get all this slaps in the face what life throws you at times. I wish it would be the same way as the good things that comes your way, or the ones that you actually acknowledge, because you do get them. It's just that can you acknowledge them? Can you see them? And
Yeah,
and um and I'm just glad that out of your story, out of what makes you today, with the many different pieces of the mosaic that makes you, that you bring all that together to the work that you do, and in the way that you serve your community, and that you keep pushing forward. Um, I think that's what I'm doing this whole thing project about sharing stories, is that all of us have something special to share, and all of us, we got way more things in common than differences. We all have the need to belong, the need to thrive, the need to be healthy, the need to. And so when you do share something personal, people connect at that human level, that the human factor is in play. So
yeah, yeah, for
thank you
sure.
for sharing that. Thank you for
Of
for
course,
allowing
of
that.
course.
And I'm sure that I'm not the only one who is inspired by this. So this is why you've been struggling in the past. This is why you tapping into your present, your future. Do you have a specific goal? So where you're heading, or are you just following life organically where it takes you?
Yes, yes. I felt as though for a long time I lived under the veil of guilt and shame for what I experienced. Not that everything was my choice, not that, I have made some bad decisions in the past. I'm young. I got to give myself grace. But I'm coming to this point where I recognize that what I've gone through is something that people need to hear. It is something that people need to see and be able to see themselves in. We live in a culture where it's just hustle, 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 get money, and especially as an African American woman, there's a lot of pressure for us to always show up, always be presentable, always be okay. There's always more eyes on us. And so I really, in these next months, years, whatever, wherever, however long I want to make sure that I am being as transparent as I can to show others that even though you may have came from a place where it wasn't very good, a place where it was painful, a place where, you didn't have much, there's always an opportunity for you to find your purpose, walk in it and just shine. Right. And so, that I'm not sure how that is going to transpire, whether that's just me continuing to share my story with people or connecting through different programs I develop. But that's definitely something that I know is coming in my future, that people are going to hear my story a lot more. And then in terms of Max Snack Shack, we just located to a bigger facility. We are taking on a lot more contracts. I'm so excited. I'm about to start back up the internship program that I was involved in before. So I can start being more of a teacher on a day-to-day basis, helping people really find the niche and their passion. And then really trying to get my own distribution warehouse, because a lot of bakeries, I'm gonna try to keep this short, but when you come into the food industry, you start in shared space, unless you like straight out the gate go into a building, but that's just not realistic for the business that I do. You don't make as high a profit with baked goods, and there is a lot of physical work that goes into prepping, proofing, baking, cooling, packaging, distributing. And for a long time, and still right now, I'm doing it all on my own. And so, there's days where I work 7 days a week because I have production for 5 days. I have to shop for the first day, and then I have to deliver on the last day. And so it's just, I'm really excited to come into a point where I'm having help and I can continue to grow. I just got word that Providence is wanting me to start supplying them. And so for me, I'm like, I'm going to boast. I don't even care. I'm not usually that type of person, but just knowing that, there's a lot of doubt that comes with this. I'm stepping out on faith, and so, faith is the hope of things we haven't seen before. And I've never seen myself do things like this. And so when every door opens, I just am in disbelief, like, wow, I did that. I built that with God's help, of course, but just, it's worth it. It's really a lot of hard work. I just read this thing this morning. It said, if you wanted your day to go exactly as planned, don't own a business. Okay. I have learned how to be flexible, how to ebb and flow. When a pan of cookies drops on the floor, I've learned to just take a deep breath and keep it going, and redirect. And so, I'm grateful for just how I've grown as a person and just as an individual with, my work ethic, my integrity, the grace that I'm able to show. I can't wait to have employees because they're going to love it. They'll love it. And just continuing to grow. I want to be nationwide one day. I don't see myself being in this region. And so just continuing to speak that into existence and really do the work is just like really what I'm excited. And also, as I've been growing, like I've been connected with amazing mentors in the industry that I want to be in. And they've really been just a blessing in guiding me and giving me the direction. I really, really encourage anybody who has a dream, find somebody who's already done it. Okay. Because they will help you get there, and I think a lot of times we get so, I got to do it. I got to do it. Ain't nobody in a big business ever did it by themselves. They always have people helping. And so I've had to relinquish a lot of control and a lot of just that feeling of like, oh, I gotta grind it out and allow others to come in and correct and help me just be better in general. And so I'm super grateful for that. And a project, I feel like I always have something going, I really want to keep pushing my cooking classes. I just have a big passion to educate people who go to the food bank. the food bank was such an amazing resource for me as a child, being on the streets, not having the money to pay for food. The food bank gave me everything that I needed, especially in the city that I lived in. And so one thing that I've noticed, and I also have a passion because I used to be a correctional officer at the Juvenile Detention Center in Thurston County. And so they have a program for the youth there where they have a garden and they donate thousands of pounds of produce to the food bank out here. And so one thing I really have noticed is that when people go to the food bank, they enjoy the process of being able to go get a cart full of food. It's free. They're getting produce, meat, all these things that you need, right? And that feels great. I mean, I know I've loved it. I'm like, hey, free food. They give me crab sometimes. Like, thank you, Jesus. I'm getting a crab boil, okay? But a lot of people don't know how to prepare these foods, and they rot in their fridge and then they throw them away just for at the expense of the experience, you know? And it's like, we're missing nutrition. We are missing health. And, you know, I'm not the skinniest person, but I definitely value what it is to treat your body correctly, feed your body correctly, and really what that can do. I would not be able to sustain the life that I live if I didn't know how to cook. I don't eat out unless it's like a special occasion, which is like hardly ever. So it's like, I'm cooking meals at home every day. I'm meal prepping, right? And so something that I really want to start is a cohort between the region of like, and all the cities, honestly, because it's a need that we all have, is how to make meals that are specifically based around the food that you receive at the food bank, right? And how to meal prep for like $20, right? Or even $10. Like there are one pot chicken and rice meal prep where you're getting vegetables, rice, a grain and protein. And you can do that all for free by going to your food bank, right? And then understanding how to prepare it properly. And so it's like, how do we push this out? Schools have taken culinary out of the education piece, like hands-on culinary. And then food is raising in prices and people aren't making more. And so we're seeing a big decline in even just nutrition in the home. Over 50% of families do not budget to eat food at the house. And then 50% of that 50% only budget for about 3 meals out of the week to be cooked at home. So we have kids. And then 95% of restaurants do not have vegetables on the kids menu. So when we see parents going out, fries is not a vegetable, guys. That is not substantial. And so when we see, and then the sides are like $7, $8 just for the vegetables. So of course a parent's not going to buy a kid's meal and then have them get a side of veggies. Like you're already struggling financially. And that is what our country wants, is for us not to be a healthy community. And so my big passion is, how do we really educate and equip people to live a healthy lifestyle realistically? Going and buying that stuff off of TikTok for $50 for one meal is not realistic. And so I think, getting off of social media, being able to look at put these different programs out there for people and just really pour into them and show them like what life could be like when it comes to food. Because especially like as a college student, if you're not eating, you're not able to show up and think as well as you should. You're not going to feel good because you ain't got no money for food. So there's a bit of a like feeling less than because you can't afford these certain things, right? And then your energy is all the way off. And energy is a big part of doing what you need to do. And so we see a lot of depression, a lot of decline in activities. And so I could talk about this forever, so I'm gonna just cut myself off right here. But just seeing the need, and it's just like, I have so much life left in me that I know that one day that this is going to be something really big and impactful for my community. And I'm just waiting on the right time for it to happen. So
you did share a lot. And I don't know even how to do one or the other. We got 5 minutes left of this interview. And I want to be respectful of that on whatever thing you have not shared to be able to vocalize it. But just a quick comment out of what you said. Education is something that is an accessibility issue on many different levels. Education on how to prepare things, education to understand what is a nutrition diet. Like you just said, French fry is not vegetables. How many people knows that? And it's just like the most basic of basics at times. is what it requires, education. And so I applaud you for promoting education. I
Thank you.
applaud you for taking initiative to think about what it's not just the food for giving it food. It's like there's more factors of why people don't do that. Yeah, I don't want to talk about me. I can tell you a lot more, but 5 minutes for you. So any last thing?
We will
any last?
chat more.
No,
off
I
this
got a
podcast.
lot.
I'm very sure.
I
Very
wish I
sure.
could tell you more things because I've been meeting amazing people. Like Roxana, for example, she runs Alimentando al Pueblo. It's a wonderful community organization here in Burien, and we just had her interview. And maybe I can share it with you later on. But it talks about coming out the organization out of COVID, and then it's all about the food bank system. But you are talking about the actual education once you have access to food and what to do with that. We are not even tapping ethnically. And that's a completely different ballgame, and the cultural issues that we face with that. It's another different layer. So we're trying out the most basic of the basics. But like I said, I can talk a lot too, and I want to make sure that I'm like Nancy, shush.
That's why I said I'm gonna have to stop here because we could talk about this for a long time. There's so many different parts of it. Yeah.
This is the last couple minutes for you. Anything else you would like to share?
Well, I would be wrong to do this interview without sharing my social media. So if you guys are interested in seeing more about me, more about my business, the things that I'm doing, you can follow me on Facebook at Max Snack Shack, MAKS Snack Shack, or you can follow me on Instagram at Max Snack Shack 1, TikTok Max Snack Shack, and just check me out, see the places that I supply, where you can find my stuff, and just follow my story. I'll post more of my classes and stuff on there. And I just, I'm super excited to connect with more people and inspire more people about walking in their purpose, walking in their passion, and then I definitely want to say, to people who are listening and that have something on their heart that they want to do, especially if it's pouring into others, especially if it's uplifting our community, it's super important that we pour into a place that pours into us. It's super important that we address the things that are put on our heart, whether other people feel that or not. Like we all have our own specific irritations, which lead us to where our purpose is supposed to be, right? So other people may not be passionate about food the way I am, and that's okay because I was meant to be passionate about that. And so at a women's conference that I was just on a panel at last month, I said this: there is a FBI negotiator book called Never Split the Difference by Chris Voss. And one of the things that I really learned from that is that you can't take no as no, right? And I think a lot of times today we get no, you're crazy, this is too much. And it's like, no is an opportunity for yes, but you have to understand how to nurture that no and take it to where it needs to be, right? And so I just really want to encourage people, don't give up. I have had a lot of no's in my life. I've had a lot of this isn't right, but a door that's closed means that another door is going to open, right? And it may be the right door. And so I just, hope that encourages people who are trying to do better, live better, follow their passions, follow their purpose. It's not easy, that's why not everybody's doing it. And so I hope that my story encouraged people and showed them that, God can take something real messy and turn it into something real great. So.
Thank you. That was wonderful. No, I hope that, please just go for her. I mean, look for her on social media now that she shared her contact, and just excited to see what else is coming after this and
thank you
just
so much.
be connected one way or another. So once again, thank you for joining us. You guys, the same. Thank you for joining us tonight. I hope that you can join us next time. So,
yes.
Bye.
Bye.
Our Highline Voices, 106.5 KQWZ LP FM. We envision ourselves sitting at a round table where no one is the leader and stories are heard respectfully, regardless of gender, age, sexual orientation, disabilities, or ethnicity. Our mission is we collect, preserve, and tell the stories of the Highline region and its people. We want to extend our mission outside the walls of the museum. Our Highline Voices represents us all, honoring our past, celebrating our present, and uniting to cultivate our future. This project allows us to reach out to demographics who might be unable to visit the museum. People with disabilities, low-income families, people who don't trust museums, and more. In partnership, we are launching a locally programmed new radio station at the museum, featuring recorded and live Highline's heritage, history, culture, arts, and more. Are you interested in sharing your story? Email director@highlinemuseum.org.